All right, we are live in beautiful sunny Florida, and today, fight fans, we're going to be breaking down UFC 258, Usman versus Burns. It's a good one, man. I like this card. As far as paying the $65-$70 for the main card, I think it's a little underwhelming, but I will say I'll give them props for stacking the prelims on this card, man. I think the prelims are real nice. You got guys like Rodolfo Vieira. They recently added Andre Ewell versus Chris Gutierrez. I mean, that's a striker's delight right there. I mean, that's in the prelims. Anticipating debut for Phil Roe versus Gabe Green. That's another, banger of a matchup. Miranda Maverick, who is a pretty highly touted prospect. She's taking on Jillian Robertson. Like, these prelims are loaded. Like, that's good enough to be like a fight night main card right there. As far as the pay-per-view goes, we'll get into it. All that matters, man, big championship fight. Kamaru Usman, one of the most dominant champions in the UFC. He's going to be taking on Gilbert Durinho Burns. Can't wait to talk about that fight. I was supposed to have a guest host for this one. Unfortunately, he had to bail out last minute. I get it. Shit happens, and it's not the worst thing in the world. I love doing these things solo, and we're gonna rock on. We are gonna I'm going to give a little more love to each one of these fights. I'm going to break it down from how I think it's going to go from a betting perspective, DraftKings perspective. Gonna give it all, man, and appreciate all you live viewers, all you guys coming in here. So here we go. We're just going to jump right into it, man. And as of right now, I only have one bet, but I'll tell you right now, that's probably going to change. There's quite a few things I'm eyeing on this card, so get right down to it. Going on the order Tapology has this listed. Man, if this is the first fight of the night, we're in for a treat. We got Jillian Robertson. She's taking on Miranda Maverick. Miranda Maverick is sitting around let's see, minus 134, minus 140. I'm seeing. I think Miranda Maverick being a slight favor here is rightful. Like ceiling wise, you got to think, she's only 23. She's getting rapidly better every single fight. She's putting on size too. She's well rounded, really showed off her striking last fight. And this is going to be a spot where she can show off her striking again, man. Jillian Robertson is a girl who's had major holes in her striking ever since she entered the UFC, and it hasn't really been patched up. She's been damn, I mean, has she outstruck anybody in the UFC? I feel like she gets outstruck even in the fight she wins. She's been hurt on the feet multiple times. Got to give Miranda Maverick the edge there. As far as the grappling, listen, I know Jillian Robertson is a black belt. She's got great jiu-jitsu. There's no denying that, but man, Miranda Maverick, I like what I see from her as well. She's grinding the gi as well. She's now a Brazilian jiu-jitsu brown belt, not too far behind, Jillian Robertson. Certainly I'd give her the advantage, but I don't think it's some mismatch on the ground. I think even if Robertson gets her down, it's not the end of the world for Miranda Maverick. I feel like she can work her way back up to the feet and really make Julian pay on the feet. I feel like Miranda Maverick's striking advantage is probably bigger than Julian Robertson's grappling advantages here. And I mentioned the ceiling. I feel like the ceiling of Miranda Maverick is much higher. John Anik has actually gone on record and said that Miranda Maverick is the second best fighter in the flyweight division. Now, I don't know about all of that, but I can definitely see where he's getting the confidence from in this prospect. I think she's a very good one. And Jillian Robertson's a good test for her, man. Jillian, there was a second there where we kind of thought Jillian might be on her way near the top, but yeah, man. I mean, getting blown out of the water by Macy Barber. Last one against Tyler Santos. Even the Mayra Bueno Silva fight. Like, even though Jillian's this great grappler, she's gotten sloppy on the ground many of times. Gave up that sub to Mayra Bueno Silva. Got taken down multiple times by Tyler Santos. Miranda Maverick's a girl who's actually been working a lot on her wrestling. She's been getting a lot of takedowns in her fights, and I wouldn't be surprised to see Maverick come out here and get takedowns as well. So I think there's potential. Miranda Maverick will look like the much better fighter here. I think she's the rightful favorite, and there's the chance she could win this fight wherever it goes. So I got to go with Maverick. That being said, at the favorite price against a vet in Jillian, 23 years old, it could be UFC first L time. I don't know if I'm willing to pay the chalk on her, but yeah, she's gonna be the pick. So let's see what we got next here. We got Gabe Green versus Phil Roe. This is an awesome fight. I've been waiting for Phil Roe's UFC debut for a long time. I actually bet him on Contender Series against Leon Shabazian. Feels like so long ago. I don't even remember what line I got, but it was something very, very big, like plus 200 odds there. There wasn't a whole lot of confidence in Rowe going into that one, and I see why. For whatever reason, like his regional footage is kind of lackluster. Like, and even that first round against Leon Shabazian, it was pretty lackluster. Um, I don't know what that is, man. Sometimes he definitely fucks around in there sometimes. Like I don't know how serious he was taking Leon in that first round. Like he just looked like he was having too much fun in there. He's definitely a goofball. Like if you look on his Instagram, he's a guy with a big sense of humor. So could be one of those guys who just, fucks around in the octagon and pays for it. But man, as soon as that round 2 and 3 started against Leon, he looked like a completely different guy. He's got the tools. He's 6'3" with an 80-inch reach. He's a great athlete, good boxer. I mean, I'm talking about ceilings here. I view the ceiling of Phil Roe much higher than the ceiling of Gabe Green. This is one I'm actually going to disagree with on the betting line. I actually think Phil Roe should be the favorite here. Um, Also, I believe he is the more durable guy between Gabe Green. Gabe Green's actually been taken out a few times here, though I'll give him credit. Maybe at 170, he's a little more durable. Went a hard 15 with Daniel Rodriguez, but like, I don't know, man. Like, I feel like Gabe Green might have a strong start. He's going to get on the inside, throw some big power on Phil Rowe. But as time goes on, as these guys start breathing a little bit, I really think that big reach advantage of Phil Rowe is going to come into play. He's going to start jabbing up Gabe Green. And I think he's going to TKO Gabe Green in the back half of the fight. Not a confident pick by any means, but sitting at plus 115, plus 120, I have no problem picking Phil Rowe here all day. And I'm looking at probably betting Phil Rowe. It's just line keeps on getting better, so I have no problem waiting. Yeah, I'm just not high on Gabe Green, man. He just comes off as a basic brawler to me. So give me the guy with way more tools, way higher ceiling, bigger, better athlete. Yeah, let's go Phil Rowe, man. Second round TKO. So moving on to the next fight. This one was supposed to happen a little while back. We got Brian Boom Kelleher taking on Ricky Simone. Ricky Simone sitting at about minus 245, minus 250. And yeah, sounds about right to me. I mean, I have a hard time seeing Brian Kelleher winning a decision in this spot. Like, oh man, like I do think the striking will be close as long as it's there. It's just I see Ricky Simone going in, doing his thing, getting takedowns, bullying Brian Kelleher. Like Kelleher would definitely have moments on the feet. Don't get me wrong. It's just I over the course of 15 minutes, I have a hard time seeing him getting Ricky Simone off of him. I feel like that this is, I mean, kind of a basic breakdown here. I feel like it's going to probably be a Ricky Simone bullying, wrestling, cage pushing type decision, or two things Brian Kelleher is very good at, and that's his guillotine and that's his counters, man. He's got powerful counters. You saw the way he put out Hunter Azure. If you slow down on a guy like Brian Kelleher, he's gonna womp on you. The guy's pretty underrated. He's been around for a while now. Brian Kelleher hit the rankings at one point. I mean, we're not talking about some slouch in Brian Kelleher. He is a very good fighter. I just think stylistically, I have a hard time seeing him stop the bullying approach of Ricky Simone. I think Ricky Simone's going to come out here, land a few takedowns, and scrape out this decision. I like him as a favorite. Just I don't know. I mean, I'd rather put Kamaru Usman in a parlay for around the same price. So yeah, this is a pass for me. Let's see. Moving on to the next fight here. This is the new one, man. 140-pound catch weight just got made a few days ago. Andre Ewell taking on Chris Gutierrez. Ewell plus 120. Gutierrez minus 140. Striker's delight, man. I mean, we basically got the kicking game of Gutierrez versus the length, the speed, the athleticism of Andre Ewell. And that's not to say Chris Gutierrez is a non-athletic guy by any means. I just view Andre Ewell just a level ahead. With the speed, he flows better in there to me. But like, those fucking kicks by Gutierrez, man. I mean, I can't say I'd be shocked if he lands one or two and Andre's, hobbling over 2-3 minutes in, not being able to, stay on his feet, man. And possibility, but I'm kind of leaning towards the underdog Andre Ewell here, man. Like, I again, man, I just feel like the ceiling projects higher for Andre Ewell. I like his skill set a little bit better. This is one fight where he doesn't really need to worry about wrestling Gutierrez. It's not coming in to wrestle. He's coming in to strike. He's coming in to kick Ewell's legs off. And you can argue, Ewell being a real tall guy, he's got those skinny legs, wide stance. I mean, he's going to leave Gutierrez wide open for those kicks. But man, I just don't think it's that simple. I just think Andre is a lot more complex on the feet, and he's going to be able to get in and out with that jab and kind of pick apart Gutierrez. Especially the further the fight goes, and if he doesn't get too damaged by leg kicks, I like this fight for Andre, man. And one more thing I want to say, just the way these guys fight, they both end up in a lot of close fights. You look at Andre Ewell. Now, his last fight, I don't think that was a split decision at all. Like, dude completely dominated Erwin Rivera. But going back before that, Jonathan Martinez, very close fight. The Hennen Barral, that was another one I don't think should really be a split. But, yeah, it was close enough, I guess. Close fight. You look at Chris Gutierrez, just went to a draw in his last fight. Before that, close fight with Geraldo de Freitas. Um, Man, I just see this as a close 15-minute striking fiesta here with these two guys. Looking forward to it. Going to roll with the underdog, Andre Ewell. 29-28 split decision. Moving on to the next fight, Mallory Martin. She's all the way down to minus 137. She's taking on Polyana Viana, plus 117. Man, I like Mallory Martin here. I just feel like I don't have much confidence in Polyana Viana to stuff here. She's been taken down a few times. She got taken down by Maya Stevenson, of all people. Not a good look. Mallory can wrestle, man. Mallory is she's not too bad with the jits as well. I know she got subbed by Verna Janadroba, but we're talking about one of the best female BJJ players in the company with Verna. I know Viana can pull off these arm bars off her back, but it's like I think Mallory's better than this. I don't think this is a Emily Whitmire situation. I think when Mallory gets her down, she's going to know how to handle her. She's going to know how to avoid the sub. She's either going to dominate the rest of the round, or I think she could even take the back of Viana, sub her out. One thing I got to say though, for sure, like it's pretty clear that Mallory Martin's green and she has a lot of work to do in the feet, but like it's also very clear that she's extremely tough. She's a good wrestler. She can put on a disciplined game plan. Like, guys, yes, I know you don't have to tell me a million times. I know she got absolutely crushed by Hannah Cyphers. Almost got knocked out in that fight. I think some refs would have honestly called it, but man, we haven't really seen any of that from Viana in the UFC. Like, I know she knocked out Rebus on the regional scene, but we've seen really none of that striking in the UFC. And to count on a girl in Viana to come out here and get a knockout over Mallory Martin, I just don't see it. I feel like Mallory should be a bigger favorite. Yeah, so wrestle, avoid the subs, and she should pick up a UD or a sub. So thinking about betting Mallory Martin, but we'll see what happens. Now here's something I did bet. We got we got Bilal Muhammad. He's minus 400, taking on Diego Lima plus 300. It's hard not to go with Bilal in this spot. You got to think. I mean, this guy's been fighting killers. He's been improving his game for a while now. Bilal's just everything you look for in a fighter. I said on a podcast I did earlier this week. Bilal has the striking. He's got the wrestling. He's got the grappling. The only thing I wish Bilal had a little more of is athleticism. I feel like if he had a little more explosiveness, a little more speed, like he could be like a top 10, top 5 guy just based on skills alone. But the thing is here, it's not like Diego Lima is some A-plus athlete. This isn't, a Jeff Neal's situation. I got Bilal Muhammad to win this fight wherever it goes. I'm not entirely sure if he's going to wrestle, if he's going to strike. I feel like you strike with Diego Lima. If you watch Diego Lima's career and you see him get knocked out 4 times all in the first round, you see him get hurt repeatedly. I mean, he's not the most durable guy in the world, and I know Bilal, he's not a knockout guy. I believe he doesn't even have any knockouts in the UFC. He might have a ground and pound TKO, but I think if there was any time for Bilal to come out here and get a first round KO, call me crazy, but this could be it, guys. I mean, mismatch. Bilal's in the prime of his career right now. Like, you could say Diego Lima's on a run. That's all good and well and everything, but like This isn't slow Court McGee. This isn't Luke Jumo anymore. Who else did Diego beat on this win streak? I know I'm forgetting somebody. It was somebody not very good. This is gonna drive me crazy, so I'm gonna have to look. Court McGee, Luke Jumo, Chad Laprise. Jesus Christ. Now I will give him props to that Chad Laprise KO. That was pretty nasty, but like, there's a reason we never saw Chad Laprise again. So I'm gonna go with Bilal Muhammad. Like he's lined accordingly here, man. Big favorite for a reason. He can win this fight wherever it goes. Diego Lima, if I had to give him an advantage here, maybe he is the faster, harder hitting guy. Maybe he could land something big on Bilal. Bilal has been put away before, but sounds low percentage to me, man. I'm going with Bilal. And another leg I have in that parlay with Bilal Muhammad happens to be next. We got the BJJ legend, Adolfo Vieira. He's also minus 400, taking on Anthony Fluffy Hernandez plus 300. Man, it's as simple as this. If you get taken down and subbed by Maluco Perez, what do you think Adolfo Vieira is going to do to you? And no, it's not that simple, of course. Man, Rodolfo Vieira, this guy, if you know anything about the BJJ scene and you go and look at this record and see with the wins over Rafael Lovato and Buchecha, like if you know those names, you know exactly what the fuck that means. This guy is BJJ royalty, one of the best grapplers on planet Earth, automatically one of the best BJJ guys in the UFC. Now, is he going to be able to put that all together in an MMA format? I mean, so far so good. He's real relentless with the takedowns, getting guys down. He's, just look at the guy. He's juiced out of his gills, freakishly strong, constantly working on different ways to get those takedowns. And a guy like Fluffy Hernandez, man, he hasn't shown me anything to, think that he's going to be able to stuff the rest or the takedown attempts from Rodolfo Vieira here. And as soon as that fight hits the mat, it's such a mismatch, man. This is one of those situations where you can confidently say if it hits the mat once, it probably will be over shortly after. Got to give Fluffy a puncher's chance, though. The guy does hit hard. There's a chance maybe Vieira, he gets pushed and a little tired in the later rounds. We'll see. I just don't see it getting to that point. Yeah. Easy breakdown here, but like Fluffy will not be able to stuff and defend the sub here. So Rodolfo Vieira, I'll say round one sub. Moving on to it looks like we're moving on to the main card, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, we got a very, very fun fight, man. We got Julian Marquez taking on Maki Patolo. Marquez minus 170, Patolo plus 145. I know. This is not a high-level fight. It's on a pay-per-view main card, but these guys come and bang. Let's just say that. I know we haven't seen Marquez in a couple of years, but like he didn't leave on a bad foot. Let's just say that. I mean, coming off one of the best knockouts in Contender Series history over Phil Haas, submission win over Darren Stewart, who's no slouch. We all know Darren Stewart, great fighter. Alessio Di Chirico out there doing big things, knocking out Buckley. He lost a split to Di Chirico, but very, very, very close fight. Yeah, Maki Patolo. I thought Maki might have been making a little. I thought he might have been making strides when he moved up to 185 pounds. That seemed like a good move for him, but like, it still hasn't really changed much. Darren Stewart fight started off strong, got choked in couple minutes. Impa Kasanganay started off strong, completely got dominated. The rest of the fight kind of fell off there. I don't know. I don't want to say he slowed down, and maybe it's just I should be giving props to Impa for that fight, but Maki started off strong first couple minutes. Impa just completely took over the rest of the fight. I'm not really sure what to attribute that to. I didn't see Maki slow down. It's just I guess Impa just found the range and figured out how to smoke this guy. I don't know. Maki's just kind of basic, man. He's predictable. He's not the fastest. He's also not the most durable. He's not the brightest. I mean, I could go on all day about the holes in Maki Patolo's game, and if he comes out here bangs with Julian Marquez, I mean, I got to think Julian's the more durable guy. Julian's never been knocked out like Maki has multiple times. Julian, I'd say, probably hits harder. So I get why he's the favorite, man. He might be able to come out here and knock Maki Patolo out. If it happens to turn into a grappling match, which I doubt, I mean, I won't be surprised if it goes either way. I don't think either guy is the greatest on the mat, but kind of a sloppy fight. One I'm going to stay away from. I just hope we get a lot of DraftKings points from it because I don't think this will be one heavily targeted by the casual audience. Not a lot of people know who Maki Patolo and Julian Marquez is, but yeah. Long story short, Julian Marquez. I'll go with him to find a knockout here. So moving on to the next fight. Yeah, we got I believe this moved up to the main card recently. We got Bobby Green, he's taking on Jim Miller, two vets of the game, two legends of the game, man. Weird stylistic matchup here just because what we've seen from Jim Miller lately, he's coming in looking for that round one sub, and most of the time when he doesn't get it, I don't want to say he falls apart, but there's certainly a drop off in output and energy, cardio, whatever you want to call it. Things just don't go well after that first round. And, Bobby Green, the longtime vet, knows his jujitsu. I just don't think this is a situation where Jim Miller's going to be able to come in, have his way with Bobby Green. I think Bobby Green will more often than not be able to overcome the initial grappling burst and most likely take over in rounds 2 and 3. I feel like Bobby Green by decision, probably the smart pick here, although I do think a late TKO is possible as well. It's just, I mean, Bobby Green does fuck around in there sometimes, he'll start talking in the octagon when he should be fighting, but that hasn't really been the case lately. I feel like this recent Bobby Green of 5 fights in 10 months, he's been taken a little more seriously, wins over Lando Venato, which I don't want to say he avenged the Lando fight because the first one was a draw, but like if you watch that first fight, Bobby Green was seriously hurt, almost knocked out in that first round, and it was complete opposite the second fight. Bobby Green pretty much lit up Lando for 15 minutes, so that was very, very impressive. And then the Lon Patrick, pure dominance. Thiago Moises, close loss there, but that looked like an improved Moises. Like, I don't want to take anything away from Bobby Green there. Moises looked like a very good fighter there, so I'm gonna go with Bobby, man. I mean, it's just tough to pick Jim Miller at this stage with the age, the his cardio is dropping off, man. It's just not a good look. And if he doesn't get round one subs in these fights, it's just more often than not, it doesn't tend to go his way. And I'm not confident in thinking he can come out here and sub Bobby Green early. So, yeah, Bobby Green, 29-28 decision. Moving on to the next fight, we got Kelvin Gastelum and Ian Heinisch. This is an interesting one, man. My boy Justin is on Ian here. I wasn't surprised. He loves Ian. He bets Ian all the time. But like, where do you give Ian an advantage in this fight, man? I mean, I have a hard time saying he has the striking advantage, although for sure he is a great boxer. Absolutely. I think Kelvin's a better one. For sure, Ian's a good wrestler. I just think Kelvin's a better one. And jiu-jitsu, I think Ian has good jiu-jitsu. I just think Kelvin's is slightly better. Ian has good wins. I think Kelvin's are better. I mean, the only thing I think you can have going for Ian here, and this isn't even like a fact, this is just speculation. Kelvin lost 3 fights in a row, took a lot of damage against Israel Adesanya, looked pretty gun-shy against Darren Till, showed questionable fight IQ against Jack Hermanson, and I say that because, yeah, I know he reversed Jack's takedown to get on top. That was all good and well, but messed around on the ground just a little too much with Jack, and he paid for it. Luckily, he doesn't have to worry about that here. I don't think Ian's going to pull a heel hook out of his ass, thankfully. I want to like Ian here. I like Ian. He's cashed me bets in the past. It's just hard for me to say where he's going to be able to win this fight. I think I guess wrestling would be the closest thing, but it's like Kelvin has a very strong wrestling base, and you're going to tell me, I mean, people are telling me Ian should be the favorite in the spot. I don't get it at all, man. I mean, maybe he can make it close. He's very, very tough. I give him respect, but like going from Gerald Mearshart and these guys to fighting Kelvin Gastelum, who's been fighting nothing but the best, I mean, big step up. Not quite sure he's ready for it. I'm not confident enough to bet Kelvin at this huge juice, but I'm going to go with him. I'm going to say he takes a 29-28. Unanimous decision, maybe even 30-27. Moving on to the co-main event, we got Macy Barber finally making a return. She is a slight underdog against Alexa Grasso. Alexa Grasso minus 120, Macy plus 100. I feel like this is going to be the technical boxing of Alexa Grasso versus the power and aggressiveness of Macy Barber. You look at Macy Barber's fight versus JJ Aldrich. JJ Aldrich is arguably probably the best boxer that Macy Barber has actually been in there with. And yes, I'm being serious when I say that. I mean, she is. She's a better boxer than Jillian. She's a better boxer than Cypher. She's a better boxer than Roxy. And JJ Aldrich was actually landing a lot of shots there against Macy early. And it wasn't until Macy started coming on really, really strong, throwing a lot of big power where she was able to eventually break JJ Aldrich. I don't think that's going to happen here against a Mexican warrior in Alexa Grasso. She is, man, and she has been a girl who's actually started off slow in a couple of her fights, even her most recent one against Jeon Kim. Jeon Kim actually, I think, even won that round. But Alexa's one of these girls, she's a boxer, man, straight up. That's what she is. She's one of the more pure boxers in the division. And I just think as the fight gets extended here, as long as she's not too compromised from the power of Macy Barber, she's probably going to end up picking Barber apart over the course of 15 minutes and, landing more. It could be close, though. It's lined close for a reason, for sure. And I think if anybody can wrestle here, it'd probably be Macy Barber. She has gotten a few. Alexa Grasso has been taken down. Again, with ceilings, that's kind of been a theme to this card. I think Macy Barber might project a higher ceiling, but I'm going with the vet and Alexa Grasso to take this one. Another thing I wanted to say, Macy Barber, I actually haven't listened to a recent interview, but back when it happened, she kind of had that Sean O'Malley mindset in that Roxanne fight, she didn't really lose. Well, I feel like she might need to take that fight where she actually feels like she lost, and I think that's exactly what Alexa Grasso is going to do here. I think she's going to teach her a lesson and win at least 2 rounds via boxing. So, yeah, I'm going to go with the favorite. Moving on, main event of the evening, Kamaru Usman is going to be defending his welterweight title against Gilbert Durinho Burns, and just going to come out and say it. Do have Kamaru Usman in that parlay with Bilal Muhammad and Rodolfo Vieira. So that's a 3-legger plus 122 for 3 units. Kamaru caps it off. Listen, I respect Gilbert Burns a lot. He has his advantages in this fight. I don't think it's going to be enough. This reminds me a lot of and I'm saying this because I have actually been seeing a lot of confidence on Gilbert Burns the last couple days. You look at the betting line, the money is coming in on Gilbert Burns. There's a lot of confidence actually going for the underdog in this spot here. And this is actually reminding me, not so much the exact fight, but it's actually reminding me a lot of Khabib and Tony Ferguson when that was being put together, where people that were going with Tony at the big dog odds, I get where they were coming from, just like I get where burn bettors are coming from, just because when you break down the fight, it is easier to list the advantages Gilbert Burns or Tony Ferguson had or has in this fight. Gilbert Burns is the better striker. He is the better boxer. He probably does have more power. He is the better jiu-jitsu guy, He does have more advantage in this fight, but it might not matter because the one advantage, one huge advantage that the champion has here, being Kamaru Usman, or in the other example I gave, Khabib, the thing that they bring to the table can just completely cancel everything else out. And that's what Kamaru Usman brings to the table. I mean, y'all are telling me that Gilbert Burns is going to come out here and just be able to get Kamaru Usman off of him? I don't see it, man. And I have seen Gilbert Burns get taken down many, many, many times. Damian Maia got him down a couple times. You go all the way back. I know it's 155, but I know y'all remember Michel Tractor Prazeres. He was able to get Burns down 4 or 5 times in that fight. Kamaru Usman is one of the best wrestlers in the UFC, bro. Not just like with the takedowns. Like, I mean, obviously takedowns are going to be risky here because you're putting yourself possibly into Gilbert Burns' guard, but like he doesn't need to get takedowns here. Like Kamaru can do what Kamaru does, and that's push guys up against the cage, the foot stomps, the body shots. By the way, one thing I mean, I won't say nobody. I have seen people shout it out before, but Kamaru Usman's body shots when he's pressing dudes against the cage, like those ones he was landing against Woodley, I mean, Jesus fucking Christ. Like he crushes dudes with those body shots, and it's just everything Kamaru Usman does, it's not all that appealing when you're watching it on the television screen, but like if you I'm not a jiu-jitsu guy. I haven't gone into a gym, but like I wrestled a little bit in high school. I have friends that wrestled. We grapple with each other. It's like you can clearly see the freakish, insane strength this guy has, and I'm just not convinced at all Gilbert Burns is going to be able to deal with it. I think Usman comes in here, does his thing for 5 rounds. I think Gilbert Burns has been broken inside that octagon before, and there's a possibility that he just might not be able to keep up with the pace, and Usman actually gets a late finish. But the safe pick is Usman by decision here. You can actually get Usman by decision at plus 100 odds on Bet Online. I think that's a decent prop, but I'm going with the straight leg. So yeah, I got Usman, Bilal, and Rodolfo in a big 3-leg parlay. Tail at your own risk. I normally don't give out 3-leg parlays. It's definitely risky, but I feel good about it here, man. So yeah, that about wraps it up. I only went 31 minutes. Kind of surprised by that. Just said my only play. As far as other things I'm eyeing, I was eyeing Bilal inside the distance prop. It's like plus 300. I think that's worth a look, but again, I mean, it's kind of hard to bet a guy to finish when he's kind of a decision machine. But like I said, if there was ever a time for that KO from Bilal, it would probably be this guy that's been knocked out multiple times. Mallory Martin intrigues me. Phil Roe is the one I'm probably most confident I'm going to be betting here within the next 24 hours. That's probably just about it. I barely talked about DraftKings, so I'm going to actually jump into that real quick. Give me one sec, guys. All right. Rodolfo Vieira is the most expensive guy. He's 9,300. I think he's getting a first-round sub, so you take that takedown point, 5 takedown points, control time, sub, first round. I think we're talking over 100 points with Vieira. Bilal, 9,200. I'm probably going to play a lot of Bilal just to be a contrarian. Most people will assume he's going to win a decision and not pay off that 9,200 price tag. I'm going to go the opposite way. I'm going to play a lot of Bilal. Ricky Simone, 9,100. It's tough to say. Let's see. Ricky Simone in decision wins. He put up 106 against Borg. He put up 60 against Font. So it's like 106 in one decision. And then, well, he did lose against Font. That's probably why. 100 against Hani Yaya. So, okay. Ricky does put up these good scores in wins, even in a loss. That's 60 against Font, a loss. Not bad. So, in this new format where they're giving each guy control time, that actually helps Ricky Simone. So maybe I'm going to have to look a little bit more into Ricky Simone because, maybe not to Usman's extent, but Ricky Simone can sure stick to guys like glue as well. Obviously, Usman at 9,000. Let me just list you some of Usman's DraftKings scores, guys. 156.3 against Masvidal, 130 against Covington, 168 against Woodley, and I'm dead serious. 194 against Rafael Dos Anjos, 125 against Amel Mech in a 3-round. I mean, you got to obviously have both sides in this fight. If Usman wins, the dude puts up like retarded numbers. Bobby Green's probably going to end up winning a decision. I don't know about that one at 8,900. I haven't even made my lineups yet, by the way. I'm just really honestly looking into it for the first time now. Gastelum, 8,800. I feel like he wins a decision. See, I'd rather play Julian Marquez here at 8,700. I feel like Julian Marquez has a way higher upside for a finish than Kelvin and Bobby Green, and he's less expensive than those guys. Even Mallory Martin 8,600. Mallory Martin's going to come in here, get takedowns, get control time. Miranda Maverick, possibly the same thing. Miranda Maverick has that KO upside as well. Gutierrez and Andre Ewell's an interesting one. 8,400 for Gutierrez, 78 for Ewell. Like I said, I think this is going to be a close kind of chess match on the feet. I see it being low scoring, so underdog or pass all day in that. Phil Roe, it's the DraftKings, but he's the underdog in the betting line, so might be a case where there's value on Phil Roe in the betting line, but there might be value on Gabe Green in the DraftKings line. It just shows how different these worlds are, really. Macy Barber, Alexa Grasso. I'd much rather play Macy Barber 7,900 than Grasso 8,300. It's all about where the value lies, guys. So that's gonna do it for me. I had to get out of here quick. Appreciate you guys tuning in. That's gonna do it for me. Definitely enjoy the fights on Saturday. We're in such crazy times. Anytime we can get fights, it's just such a take our mind off everything, kick back, maybe drink a few beers, smoke a little weed, whatever you're into, enjoy the fights. That's going to do it for me. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. That means everything to me. Hit the like button. And one other shout out. I did a podcast earlier this week with my boys Will and John. Voice crack there. Will and John. MMA Huddle on YouTube. Check them out. Awesome guys. We did a real fun show. Show them some support. And yeah, that's going to do it for me. And later, guys.